Alright, welcome back. Some more Microtopia here on Bear's Den. And we are going to change things up a little bit here with our flying guys here. So, as of right now, get to the right spot here. They fly in the babies, and then they come around here, and they fly back out from here. They come over here, and they pick up another baby, and they fly back over. Well, for now, we are going to set up a small stockpile right here. And we're going to have our little line come over to here. We're going to get rid of this. And now we are going to have our assembly, our flying guys, instead of launching back from here, we are going to have them pick up. Well, they're still going to fly back from there, but we're going to give them a dispenser beforehand. So we're going to put this like right there, and we're going to assign that to our stockpile over here with our things. So now they will come in. They will drop off their baby. That one's going to be an old one, so he's going to go away. Get smashed like that guy did. Here's our new one. So he's going to come in. Drop off the baby. Walk up. Grab a pod. And fly back over. And then he will deposit that pod here on this stockpile, which we are going to make another dispenser that we are going to put over here, which we actually want to be the first one now, and we want to assign that one to here. Well, I didn't. There we go. Wait a minute. Did I do the wrong one? Energy pod 2. Oh, I know what I did wrong. Hauling from there. There we go. Alright, so now they should fly back over here with their pods. They're having an issue at the moment, which I understand their issue. Because they're not supposed to be carrying anything right now. Alright, so that'll take care of that. This one, he needs to drop his thing. So he can go into there. And I'm pretty sure he can't go in there because I think it is full, which we need to deal with. Alright, so now they'll drop those pods off there. And we come back over here to Mama, and she is now eating those new energy pods that we needed for, let's see. This one right here. Nope, that's the jungle thing. Which one was it? That was completed. That needs the thing. That needs the thing. 100 ants. Island, feed 30 pod 2s to the queen. That's what we're working on right there. And then mine 500 pieces of scrap. We're working on that right now as well. So there is our iron pile. There is our island exploration. And then this one until you've unlocked the iron worker. Okay. So we're just waiting on those two to get done. She has to eat 30 of those, so it's going to take her a little bit to get that done. I still have some of the flying guys bringing in concrete over here, and I haven't done anything with the bridge yet. We have a minor issue over here, which is there is like almost nobody working on this island. You can even see that we only have one of our never die ants feeding her, and only one of our never die ants popping out kids. And now that we are feeding her those energy pod 2s, she's not popping out kids very often, so we're losing population. And I'm not even sure what that energy pod 2 is going to do for her. I figured we'd get more babies when she ate one, but apparently that's not the case. So we will see what happens there. Our inventor guy just got done. Alright, so let's go look at what we have going on over here. This bridge did get done, so we can now start walking. Except it does look like that's a one-way bridge. I didn't think about that. So we are going to have to make another bridge that goes alongside it if we want to bring them back. So there we go. Now, over on this side is where, most of our ants are coming to at the moment. And I've got them just, all the babies are up here cleaning up all of this rubble up here, which I think it's now about time for us to get rid of that, because they have gotten most of this out of here now. There's only this like one right here that's really accessible. So we can have those guys take care of it. And then those two are kind of blocked behind that stuff, so I'm not even going to bother with sending them in to do that. We have been mining up our iron from here, but all of our, right here we got our little diggers over here taking care of this stuff. But let's go ahead while they're working on getting that done. Let's look at these energy pod ants. So we're going to need a assembler. And now where do we want to put this? I'm thinking, I think we'll put it over here, actually. For right now, we'll put it right here. And we want this to make assembly pod worker 1, which is going to need an energy pod and a pod worker. Okay. Oh, there we go. So we need a pod worker first, which needs a light bulb. Alright. Are we making light bulbs on this one? I don't believe we are. I believe all of our light bulbs are being assembled over here. Let's turn this around so I can see what I'm doing here. You are missing fabric because these guys are not gathering any fabric, because right now they're only... There's no plant cutter guys. There's none of the big guys up there. So we're going to have to deal with that. So we have more... Yeah, we have some more of this stuff up here. We can send them up to plant cut some of that. But this place doesn't have a whole lot of fabric. So I think what we'll do is send fabric over from the floral island. It has tons of it. So for right now, we're just not going to deal with the fabric. We've got tons of it on this island at the moment, and we don't need it for our light bulbs. Where are our light bulbs getting produced? We do. Yeah, we have 58 of them. Oh, hey, that actually shows me right where it's at. Well, how nifty is that? Alright, so this we want to place a dispenser off of that, which I think we'll go ahead and put that as well over... Actually, no. Let's try out our new bridge. Let's put this here. Alright, so we have these fly guys working here for some reason. I have no idea why. But we have all these guys working up here that aren't doing a daggone thing. So let's send them down here. I really need to get some of this worked out, but I want to... Oh, I hate when they get behind stuff. Stop getting behind stuff. Alright, we're going to bring him over here. And we're going to have him haul from there to there. So then he can walk across that bridge when it gets done. It's still not done at the moment. Yeah, we're down to like 110. What do we need for making light bulbs? Because we've got copper on this island we've brought over. It might just be easier to make light bulbs over here. So we've got plenty of iron over here. Production... work. Build that real quick. Change. Make light bulb. Oh, that only takes glass. Okay. Which we can't actually do on this island because we actually don't have glass on this island. Okay, that makes sense. And I think our glass maker is basically done over here. We do have glass. Okay. So glass is making the light bulbs, not the copper. Okay. So then we just need to send the light bulbs from there over to the other island is pretty much what we're going to have to do. And you guys are just hanging out over here and doing nothing because you guys are the ones that are supposed to be getting crushed. Alright, so give me a minute. Let me work out a couple screw-ups here. I'll be right back. Alright, so we're at 29 of 30. Let's see if this guy goes where he's supposed to, which he is. Alright, so feeding her those is now done. So that is... oh, our scrap... that's not done. This one. So, island exploration is completed. Now we have unlocked energy storage. A storage unit that stores energy pods as pure energy. Some buildings require energy to operate. If so, they'll automatically take it from energy storage within range. So that gives us a small beacon and energy usage. Alright, I think we're pretty much done with going that way for a little bit. The ironworker one I want to get to, which we're getting there. Basically what I fixed here is I had an assembler. Oops, I got turned around. I have this assembler right here that is taking our old and dying regular ones and turning them into flyers. Our adult regular ones and turning them into flyers. And I had that going over here to the main line. I now have that sent to come over here, which technically, since they're flyers, we don't need to use the bridge. We can give them a launch pad. So that's what we're going to do. So now we will just set them a hauling up to that. And then we will give them a landing pad, which we need by that new assembler we just set up, which was right here. So we'll have them fly in and drop off right here. So let's go set that. Assign target. And we want that right there. So then they will come in and land here. And we'll give them a small stockpile right here. So then they can do their hauling and put it right there. And then from there, once they drop off, we will have them walk back over to here, which is where they decide if they're going to the jungle or if they're going to the desert. So now that will give us our light bulbs right here. So now we need to set up a dispenser right there. And now what we're going to do is we have our little guys coming in here and doing the picking up of all the energy pods over here. And I'm going to, when they get to this point, which is where they normally get sent over here to become adults, I am going to, for right now, send them off. Well, actually, no, let's not send them off there. Right now, we have our babies coming up, and if there's not enough in there, then they go off and come over here to this one to work over here, which nobody's working over there. Haven't been for a long time, but hopefully this is gonna fix that problem. So instead of them coming in here to do this, we're gonna send them over there and then send them back in here. Actually, give me you. You come here real quick. You're gonna be our first test subject. You're gonna come in here. You're gonna get a light bulb attached to your butt. And then you're gonna come out over here. And this takes a minute. Wow, does this take a minute? Alright, so what is your lifespan? 2 minutes. Alright, let's pause for just a second. What is... Your lifespan is infinite because you're the wrong one. You're infinite because you're the wrong one. Okay. Worker, you're like 10 minutes. Alright, where's the little... Do I not have any little guys on this island? I should have some little guys on this island. Yeah, we have a little guy right there. So you are 5 minutes. Okay. So this guy has half the time that he normally would have. Alright. So now if we send you off over here into this area, now you should pick that up, right? Yep, yeah, picked it up. Alright, except the problem is I completely forgot what you're supposed to do, which is you need to go into a second assembler. Wrong thing. Population. Assembler. And we're going to have to get rid of this trail right here. Okay, so population, assembler, and we're going to have this one go the opposite direction. And now we're going to put you on set assembler if I can get you through here. And now we want you assembled into the pod worker. So now we need a dispenser. Right there. And we need to set that target for that right there. And now we gotta hope we have enough that you will end up with it, which you did. Alright, so now you're getting your thing on there. So now we have you come out here, and your lifespan is now 5 minutes. So you're back to what you were, but you're supposed to be faster. You can do foraging, hauling, and plant cutting. If I remember correctly, the babies couldn't do plant cutting. So this actually makes it to where he can do plant cutting. So that's interesting, but now we should be able to keep him alive though if we keep him in these things. So we need to set up right here another gate, and we need a cast gate this time, which we're going to run out and over to there. It's going to look a little weird, and we want his cast to be an empty pod worker. So now if he's an empty pod worker, then we want him to run his butt over and into there, and we want any of them coming from there to go into there. And so then we're gonna have, instead of them coming up here and going into there or over to there, we're gonna send them into there. So we want to get rid of this. We're going to have them come up here and then go that way. And then we're going to take this out of here for right now, because we don't want them going that way. So right now, all of our babies are going over to the other island. We're going to have to... right now, it's just kind of fluctuating, because they all end up going over the other island. They end up doing work over there, turning into flyers, coming back over here, and then eventually dying off. But if we can start doing this with our pod workers, that's going to end up meaning that they can just keep rejuvenating. And so we won't have them dying off when they're doing this repetitive work like this. So I'm going to keep an eye on this guy and see exactly if it does what it's supposed to do. But before we do anything with that, I want to look at... Okay, it says different plants contain different kinds of energy pods. Some contain energy pod 2, which is a better version of the energy pod that contains more energy in each unit. And I needed to feed 30 of those to the queen. But it really didn't seem like she was popping any babies out when she ate the number 2. So I'm kind of confused on that one. We'll have to see. But this might be a good thing to have these guys working on collecting the energy pods here, and for doing our baby making stuff, because then they're never going to get old and die out so we can actually start building, because right now we hit about 147, 48, and we're just not gaining to the 150 level. And then we go back down to about 100, and then we go back up. Everything's just kind of fluctuating. So maybe this will help to keep that from happening. Now, see, he's about to die. I want to see what happens. Okay, so his dying is his pod pops. Okay, so when his pod pops, we need him to come back over here. So we need to set up the death trail here to, instead of going into there, we need to put a cast gate off of our old trail here, which is going to be for if he is one of these, and then have that run to here as well. So then if they come in and they are one of those, they'll go that way. Now this does not have enough light bulbs because we need to deal with the whole light bulb thing, which means that we're getting a bunch of them stuck up here. So for right now, we're going to do that. And if they can't go in there, they're going to come down here and do their normal job anyways, so we're not losing them. Alright, so now I need to deal with the whole light bulb issue. And we also need to deal with the fact that this keeps happening and they're bringing stuff in. And why are you still coming here? You should be at this one. I gotta figure out why he's still coming into this area. And yeah, I can't pick up any of that because they're all full. Okay, so we should have this guy getting glass. We have glass. We have light bulbs. So is it just a problem that we don't have anybody coming off the assembler? Yep, that's what the problem is. We just didn't have anybody coming off the assembler to become a fly guy. And that's because I got to figure out why you guys are now coming over here instead of over there. And we also got to figure out why you're carrying stuff over here. So that'll take care of that issue. I will figure out what's going on with these guys and why they're coming in here, because if this is full, they shouldn't be coming in here. So this is a counter gate of 3. Okay, so I never set up the stockpile gate. So there should be a stockpile gate here, which is assigned to here, and says that if it contains more than it holds 160, so we're going to set it to 140-ish. Alright, so if they hold that much, then they're going to come back down to here. So they're not going to go in there. So they're not running around carrying plates for no reason. And then this guy had scrap. We need to figure out why that is. Is our scrap stockpile full? I'm guessing you're coming from this one, which is completely full. So we need to deal with that. This one is really close to being full. So we have a lot of guys over here getting iron and not a whole lot of uses for said iron at the moment. And this is where I was talking about I needed to get rid of this whole area, because these guys are no longer going to be needed coming through here. So I'm just going to send them back that way, and then just delete all of that area momentarily. So they're either going to be over here mining iron from here, or mining our glass from over here. And we probably need to set up more of them for the mining part. I do still need to get some fabric stuff figured out on this side, because we still don't have fabric coming in here. I probably should send some more guys up here to clean up the rest of that rubble up there. And I may, for the fabric, just start sending... we have a whole nother end of the island down here that we haven't messed with yet. Now, there's a plant there. There's a couple of them down here. Alright, so we'll deal with that. But we have been here for a awful long time today, and I think we learned something new. I think these new pod worker guys are going to do us a bit of good if we can keep them alive. And we should be able to, because man, are we getting an awful lot of those energy things in there. And I only see one of them at the moment. I thought we had at least 2 of them made, so we'll have to see what happens here. I'm going to keep an eye on this guy, make sure he goes and gets filled back up, and I will see you guys in the next one. And I think we might actually be close enough for this one, so we can get that done. Or what we probably should do is unlock this so we can make Pod Worker Ant 2. This is giving them the green pod instead of the yellow pod, which I'm assuming is going to let them live even longer. So, I'll keep an eye on this, and we'll see what happens. See you next time.